with your preconceived notions. So what they say in AA is set that aside for a moment. Okay? Just set that aside for a moment and let us take you through each one of the steps. Each one of the steps have an issue. Aside from a spiritual component, they have an issue because they want you to do something. AA is a program of action. The first step, they want you to surrender. The second step, they want you to change your preconceived notion of God. The third step, give up control. The fourth step is about discovery. Learning stuff about yourself that you didn't know. The fifth step is about confession. Telling 3 people. You tell God first. You got to hear yourself say it to God. Second thing, you need to sit yourself in a mirror, in front of a mirror, and talk to you about you. Just the way you are. And the third thing, you need to talk to somebody else about you. And it's talking to somebody else. All these 3 conversations that you're having is all your life story. Not when you started drinking, not when you started using, but way before that. Because in your life you were laying the foundation to become an alcoholic, to become a drug addict. And all that first drink or that first coke or that first shot, whatever it was, that first pill just launched what was laying dormant. In the 6th step, okay, is having a sincere desire to change. In the 7th step, it talked about attitude. Do I have an attitude of gratitude, or am I going to be defiant and not reliant? In the 8th step, it's about brotherhood. I am thinking about all the damage I've done. And I'm willing to take that responsibility for my behavior. In the 9th step, it's about restoring relationships. But I must do that with consideration. I must put your interests and your feelings ahead of my desire to absolve myself. And we just got through reading it in the last about some of the stuff we should never say. That stuff between God and me. Okay? That I will take with him, with me, with his help, I'll be able to deal with it. In the 10th step, okay, it's all about being vigilant. Like you were uncomfortable going to this place, and you needed to take the action by calling somebody. Saying what I know. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And so this is what this 10th step is telling you to do. The 11th step is telling you to get closer to God, and you do that by doing 2 things. You do that by asking, and you do that by receiving. See, a lot of us have a lot of problems when somebody gives us a compliment. A lot of us can give, but we have a hell of a time receiving. And we got to know that this is what God wants for us. He wants to be able, he wants to continue to bless us. We then receive that in gratitude with no strings attached. There are no strings to what God gives you. None. It's like if I wanted to tell you about God's grace and what it looks like, I could take a pitcher of water and pour it into this glass and keep pouring it until it kept overflowing. That's what God wants to do in your life. He wants to make your life be overflowed with his blessings. And in the 12th step, what it's talking about is mentoring. That is the evidence of recovery. What you have received, you freely give. And the more you keep receiving, the more you keep giving, the more as you give, you empty yourself up. You become an empty vessel. But you don't stay that way because you keep receiving from God. So the way this program really works is from God through me to you and back to me. And the back to me is when I see you do what Sean does, gives it away. I know that he has gone far beyond what I have given him because I can see what he does. See, so in AA, you listen to what they say and then you watch what they do. And